Hey guys, we are back for another video. Well, Kenya Moore is in the news, and if you guys don't know, let me just give you a brief little update. Kenya Moore had a opening or spa reveal, whatever you want to call it, with regards to her salon and her spa. And it was stated that she revealed explicit pictures of one of the new cast. Now, pending all of that, people are reporting that Kenya has been suspended. But guess what, guys? A lot of old clips are now coming up with regards to Kenya's behavior and what previous cast members have stated about her in the past. So, what I want to do is I want to jump into one of those interviews because you guys know when these things air, we don't, we just pretty much watch it. But then when stuff starts to happen, as with what's happening now, what's being reported is that Kenya has been suspended and or fired, and now to look back at those old clips of her previous people that she worked with on the cast to just say that, her behavior is going to be the demise of the show. And now that we look in the current stage and be like, oh shoot. But I want to jump into that video, and let's just jump into what one of the cast members had to say about Kenya, guys. And this has been several years ago. So let's let our intro play out and let's go ahead and talk about it.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
And guys, before we get into this video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and also enable your bell notification so you do not miss out on a video or when I go live. Now, as you guys already know, especially if you have ever watched Real Housewives of Atlanta, Miss Nene Leakes has not been a stranger to any controversial issues. In fact, it was stated that she just didn't come back to the franchise because they did not offer her enough scenes. Well, if you guys recall, and if you don't, that's fine because I'm going to bring up the clip. Kenya Moore did a bunch of interviews, and in interviews that she did, she frankly talked about Nene. But most interestingly, Nene had some things to say about Kenya, but the things that she spoke about Kenya are pretty much very prevalent today because it is actually happening. Now, during this time that Kenya was speaking about Nene, Kenya spoke about Nene being phased out, and pretty much Kenya was stating that the network just really didn't want Nene back, and stated that Nene just wasn't giving what they wanted anymore. And that Kenya said that Nene was trying her hardest to remain relevant and stay on the show. But we ultimately realized that Nene did not stay on the show. She ultimately did a video and said that she would not be coming to the show. And then ultimately she ended up suing the network because it was a bunch of different things that she had stated was happening. And we also learned from other cast members that, from other, not the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but ladies from other branches of the network actually sued for similar things that Nene had talked about in her lawsuit. But nobody, gave Nene's lawsuit a second chance. People were just saying Nene was angry and she was mad, but women actually did lodge lawsuits and had similar complaints about exactly what Nene had spoke about earlier. But I can understand why people would think that Nene was bitter, or if she was bitter. I get why people would say that. But let's get into what Nene had to say about Kenya, which is actually happening right now, y'all. So let's get into that video snippet.
Bravo, why they're cutting her out of many episodes this season.
Okay, but you're saying that she's being phased out?
Well, I think she is. She's fighting to stay on the show.
But I think that she would love for me to be gone so she could be, in her mind, the head of the show, or the queen of the show, or the one that everyone is talking about. With me there, it's very difficult for her to have that kind of thing. And I also think that if I leave the show and Kenya stays on the show, she will be the demise of the show.
Why do you say that?
Because she's a nasty girl. Her attitude is nasty. She's not a cool girl. None of the girl, she tries to talk about the girls doesn't like me. None of them like her. I mean, her attitude is stank. And I always feel like no matter what I do, it's very hard for them to forgive. But they forgive each other in 5 seconds all the time. And they've done worse things to each other than I've ever done to them. And everybody makes mistakes. And I feel like I've definitely made mistakes, but I also feel like my mistakes are forgivable. Last year, my husband had cancer, and I was his caretaker. I dealt with so much last year, and I feel like I don't get a break for that, or I don't get any sympathy for that because of Nene. And we never had cancer in our home before. So I feel like everybody was like, well, last year. And I'm like, girl, last year, I don't even know who I was last year.
She would need.
So, guys, when I saw this snippet of this interview that Nene did, and then it's also some portions of an interview that Kenya did, and as you guys can see, Kenya is saying that Nene is being phased out. And I kind of talked about that in the beginning of the video. Obviously, Nene is no longer on the show. But if you guys heard what Nene said, she said that Kenya will be the demise of the show if she were to leave. Now, y'all, listen, that was like a one-liner. That was it for me, because is this not what everybody is saying? The internet is saying that Kenya has been fired. Nene said that Kenya is a nasty girl. Well, okay, I can believe that, but ultimately, what Nene is saying is that, or what she's saying, or what she said, is that Kenya would be the demise of the show, and it looks like it may have come true, because with everything that everybody is saying with regards to Kenya being, let go, this is not good for the show, because it's kind of like a domino effect. We got this going on with Kenya, and then we got things not working out with Porsha. I don't even know if this show is going to be able to survive. I mean, who are the stars? It's a lot going on. So yeah, y'all gotta let me know what y'all think. What do you guys think in terms of what Nene said? And I know y'all gonna be in the comments talking about Nene, but this is not about Nene. So just stay on track, guys, because I know y'all tend to get off track. This is not a video on Nene. We're talking about Kenya. Okay. So y'all let me know what y'all think. And guys, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And also make sure you enable your bell notification so you do not miss out on a video or when I go live.